Hello and welcome to this initial reaction video to Pete Townshend's new single, which has come out today, Friday 24th of March 2023. My name's Paul, I hope you're keeping well. Pete Townshend has released a new single today. It's called Can't Outrun The Truth, and it's his first solo single for 29 years. Which means I would have been a teenager when he released his last single. But let's not go into that. But yeah, as he's released this new single today, I thought it was a good excuse to try something different on my YouTube channel. Normally, I just upload videos of my various bands and solo acoustic gigs, that kind of thing, and a few other creative ventures I've been involved with over the years. And yeah, today I thought I'd try something different. So at the moment, this single is only available online, but I know there are signed vinyl copies available at the Teenage Cancer Trust gigs at the Royal Albert Hall that have happened this week. Now, during the various online advertising for this single, so Instagram, Facebook and all that, there's been mention of all the proceeds from this single going to the Teenage Cancer Trust. But I've also seen on a few posts that at least 10p of each sale goes to the Teenage Cancer Trust. So I'm not entirely sure which it is, but I guess the main thing is that there is money being raised for the Teenage Cancer Trust. I don't think this is some lad baby grifting or anything like that at all. So the song itself was written by Pete's wife, Rachel Fuller, during lockdown in 2020, while she was recovering from back problems, and Pete was, I think, just mucking about in his home studio and keeping himself occupied, as we all were trying to do at that time. And there's some videos online that have been released recently called Kitchen Tabling with the Townsends. It's basically Pete and Rachel Fuller sitting at their kitchen table in their new house discussing this new single, and there's 3 or 4 parts to it. But when they're talking about Rachel writing the song, she mentions that her singing days are long gone. I'm not entirely sure why that is. If anyone does know, I would be interested to find out. So leave a comment if you know the reason for that. I'm not overly familiar with a lot of her stuff at all, to be honest. But I'd be interested to know why she feels like her singing days are over. But she wrote this song, so I'm just checking my notes. Where am I? Yeah. So yeah, she wrote this song, and because she feels like her singing days are over, Pete decided to record this. And one other thing they talk about in these kitchen table videos is the fact that Pete actually plays violin on this song. I think that's despite the fact he doesn't really know how to play it properly, but Rachel Fuller, being a composer, I think sort of wrote out all the parts, and yeah, Pete picked up a violin and managed to play it. I'm not sure who the producer is for this single, or where it was recorded. I'm presuming it was recorded at Pete Townshend's home studio. I don't know if he produced it himself or not. But again, if anyone knows, I'd be interested to find out. So the actual song itself, I listened to this about 4 or 5 times in a row. And the song has got a real Johnny Cash vibe to it, a sort of Johnny Cash type country and western feel. And that's something that they do talk about in the kitchen table videos. But one thing that really stands out to me is that this song really does suit Pete's voice. I mean, he's obviously no spring chicken. What is he, 78 this year? And at Who gigs these days, he does tend to shout a lot of the time rather than sing. But this style of song, this Johnny Cash feel, really does suit his voice. And looking at the lyrics and hearing the lyrics, it's crystal clear that this was written during lockdown. And you get the impression Rachel Fuller was going through a difficult time when she wrote this. But yeah, it was written in lockdown in 2020, and there does seem to be quite a big gap between the song being written and the song being released. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I mean, it could be COVID, which just gets in the way of everything. There's been Who tours in recent times. That could have been a factor. But musically, yeah, there's a nice call and response between lap steel guitar and the violin, which I presume Pete is playing both of them. And that kind of serves as the main hook of the song. Yeah, I'm not sure how often Pete has included like lap steel guitar in his songs, but I don't know if he ever has, but it sounds really nice. And yeah, like I said, nice call and response thing between the lap steel guitar and the violin, which, yeah, the main hook of the song really. And yeah, it's a really nice sound, really nice, clean production. It's not a very long song. It clocks in at just under 3 minutes. But, you know, it doesn't outstay its welcome, but I don't think it feels like it's too short. It kind of feels about right. It's got a nice, catchy chorus. The song rolls along really nicely. I found myself singing it to myself, you know, literally a minute or two after I'd been listening to it. And one other thing to say is that this song doesn't sound like The Who at all, but I can imagine Roger Daltrey singing it, especially knowing what a big Johnny Cash fan he is. I do wonder what his feelings are on this and whether this maybe could have been a Who song. I saw them at Shepherd's Bush in '99. They did a Johnny Cash medley as part of the encore. So yeah, interesting to hear what Roger Daltrey thinks of it. Don't know if we'll ever find out, but yeah, it doesn't sound like The Who, but I really like this song. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, the song really suits Pete's voice. Like I said, rolls along nicely, nice Johnny Cash vibe. The lap steel guitar and the violin work really well together. So I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. Good job, Pete. So yeah, that's my initial reaction. I hope you've enjoyed the video. This has been something a bit different for me. Yeah, leave a comment, that'd be great. If anyone does know about why Rachel Fuller feels she can't sing these days, any other information I might not have covered that you might know and feel like I should know, then please do let me know, that'd be great. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.